30 seconds to get it going live, and everything will be okay. All right. I was getting bombarded with messages. What's going on? Is the podcast still live? What's happening? Technical difficulties.
I just saw one coming through now.
Yeah, and all the rumors that you could possibly hear. Oh, this happened and that happened. On WhatsApp, not on the YouTube channel. Okay. They should be going live now. Come on. All right. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're live.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. All right. So, finally, we're live. We're here live.
Sorry about the wait, guys.
From Dubai. Yeah, sorry about that. It's my fault, not his. He was on time. I messed up. So
actually, no, we were both on time in the wrong place.
Yeah, we were both on time at the right place at the right time, but not together in the right place at the right time. So what happened was you sent me the right location with the right map, and I plugged it in on Google Maps here in Dubai. And for some reason, it sent me to the right hotel in the wrong on the wrong side of Dubai. And when I got there, I thought I was in the right place. But later on, I said, okay, something's wrong. And he's telling me I'm in the lobby, and I'm in the lobby too. What's going on? And then and not only that, that's happening at 7 p.m. in Dubai, which technically is the worst time to drive in the area that we're in right now.
Yeah.
So I'm here with Pierre de Villiers. Did I get the name right?
Yeah, pretty
Perfect.
good. If you're from France, that's how you say it. But if you're from South Africa, it's de Villiers.
De Villiers.
Yeah.
De Villiers. He's an international speaker, best-selling author, 4 books so far.
Fourth one now.
Fourth one coming out now.
This month, yeah.
Excellent. Congratulations.
The Extraordinary CEO, How to Keep Winning a Business in Life.
Interesting. I know what you do, but when you're mixing it with the CEO stuff, that's where it gets interesting because
you see, it's basically, I'll sum it up like this. The people I most work with are either CEOs or they want to be CEOs, meaning they want to be a boss, right? Who doesn't want to be a boss? But the CEO is obviously the Chief Executive Officer, and I've turned it around to the Chief Energy Officer. The reason why I do that is because everything in the world is energy. And with energy, with an abundance of energy, you can have whatever you want. Abundance in wealth, abundance in finance, abundance in your relationships, extraordinary career, you can have an extraordinary mission, you can do a lot, change the world, but without energy, you cannot do anything. So I help CEOs increase the energy so they can get more consistency, better focus, and better results.
You know, I love what you're saying because very, very few people catch that, especially when you're talking about life coaches, right? People want to create a buzz and they want to speak on stage with energy. There's nothing wrong with that. But very few focus on creating results, measurable results. Are you doing better? Are you losing weight? Is your net worth going up or are your sales going up? And when you're putting your reputation on the line, specifically when you're focusing on results, tangible, measurable results, you're the real deal. And I can attest to that because JP and I work together. I've known you since what? A year now, almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year.
And I've attended 1, 2, 3 of his live events. I'm not talking online, live events in Dubai alone. And nothing like a JP event. So if you haven't been there before,
cheers, dude. I'll pay you later.
I'm serious. If you haven't been there before, you should. And you have a podcast, right? It's on iTunes.
Just my name.
Can you tell me more about that? Tell us more about that.
So I started a podcast. I started to hang out with really cool people that I thought, wow, this person's really inspiring. Or even if I thought they were an ordinary person, they shared something with me where I thought, man, people need to know this. Now, one of my sayings is, I have so many, I have thousands of sayings. And one of them is, you can find inspiration anywhere in life. And I just thought, man, if someone knew or more people knew about this person's story, it might inspire them to get off their ass. Number one, it might inspire them to change the way they think. It might inspire them to get rid of their limiting beliefs. It might inspire them to step up, etc., etc., etc. So I thought every time I meet someone who I think has a really inspiring story, I'm going to ask them, can I get some of your time? And obviously, as my career progresses and my life progresses, I get to hang out with more cool people again and again and again. So I've interviewed
and you've worked with celebrities. You've worked with
celebrities, CEOs,
high profile
actors,
individuals, right?
Yeah, like double Olympic gold medalist.
Wow. And can I mention what you just told me before we went live about
I can't remember. Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah, and you decided to go back into fighting. You decided to have your your first in a long time, I believe, a
Yeah,
Muay
very
Thai
long time, yeah.
Muay Thai match. And this is interesting because very few people who compete. I mean, because right now you're taking both. You're taking personal growth and you're applying it into martial arts, into competition, into real life competition. I love entrepreneurship, but if a person makes a mistake in business, you make a mistake, you can recover, so on and so forth. Sometimes it's deadly, sometimes it's dangerous. I get that. But in martial arts, if you make a mistake, you could die. You could get hurt. You could hurt the other guy if you do it right. So people who put their money on the line, who put their life on the line in martial arts, I know I'm exaggerating it a little bit, but it is the real deal. And as far as we know, martial arts is, in my opinion, I'm an MMA guy, is the ultimate sport.
Yeah,
is the
really,
you know,
is.
people have to learn how to play basketball.
It's total body mind connection.
And it's natural. You know, somebody had to create or invent basketball, football, rugby, but
Fighting is in our
fighting
blood.
is natural.
Yeah.
Fighting is natural.
Doesn't mean you have to be an aggressive person to fight, but fighting is in our blood.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's survival of the fittest. It's about the strongest survive. It's about facing challenges. It's about overcoming failure. And that's one thing I love about fighting. I don't want to say fighting, about martial arts is it helps you to realize and constantly remember that failure is not final. Every time you fail, and this is what I love. You know, we just spoke about Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
This is one of the few things that I absolutely love about this guy is when he lost that fight last year. In his first interview, not holding grudge at anything.
In the octagon, he didn't even leave the cage.
He said, I will learn from this. I'm paraphrasing, but he said, I will learn from this and I'll come back a better man. And that is what life is about. And I think every person, every parent should put their kid through some kind of martial arts to teach them not just about failure, but to teach them about teamwork, to teach them about discipline, and to teach them about facing your fears. I think it's brilliant.
How old were you when you started Muay Thai? How old were you when you started martial arts?
So let me can I take it back a little bit more?
Sure.
My first ever sport was when I was 7 years old. I started doing judo. Judo, then rugby the next year. Then I started doing cycling at 13. Then I became a semi-pro road cyclist, meaning I had basically a team and sponsors and all these things. I just didn't get a full-time salary. And then I kind of lost my way for a bit. I lived the party boy lifestyle, and that's mine, don't worry. And I lived the party boy lifestyle, and then when I was about 23, I realized I wasn't on the right track, and I needed to get back to feeling good. And I knew that fitness, physical activity, and pushing myself always did that. So I found Muay Thai in a gym. And then I started doing Muay Thai. I had a few fights, 3 fights, and then my fight career ended prematurely. Everything okay with the sound?
I think. Hold on one sec. I think we're overlapping with the audio.
I've heard someone talking the whole time.
We're talking over each other. What's happening? Let's try this.
What's going on, man?
Let's see. Let's try something.
Okay, let's try that. Is that better?
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. We're gonna try this again. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. The sound should be okay.
Can you get people to comment?
Yeah, no, we're back. Sounds perfectly fine. Okay, we're good. So what happened was I heard an overlap from my side, but we're good. We're back.
Yeah, I think it was just delayed in your...
Yeah. Well, there was an overlap from my side. I hope it wasn't going live, but we're good. Anyway.
Sounds perfect. Cool.
So you were saying about martial arts being...
So basically, I started getting into martial arts.
Yeah.
Then I decided I wanted to take it further. I had 3 fights. I fought in London and in Thailand. Then my fight career ended prematurely. One of my coaches, or my coach at the time, told me because I'm tall, everyone's always going to come on the inside. So my first strike had to be super hard to make them keep their space, because their coach would have been telling them, get on the inside, which is usually how it is when someone's taller than you. So I knew first strike super hard. And when I kicked, the guy stuck his elbow out. And I went for a big roundhouse kick and broke my foot on his elbow.
Oh, goodness.
And I went back to my corner with ankle supports, you know, the tight elastic band, the tight elastic support. And even though it was the first round, I broke my foot. By the end of the first round, minute and a half, a minute and a half later, my foot was completely swollen under the support. I looked at my coach and I said, look at my foot, coach. I can't do this. And he said to me, JP, you can do this. You can box this guy. Anyway, I didn't lose. I drew the fight because I boxed for another 4 rounds on a broken foot.
You went on for 5 rounds
Yeah,
total?
I mean, you can't feel it at the time, right? You can't.
The adrenaline rush, but
you just can't
you're
feel
able
it
to
at all.
move. You're able to close
and now, 2 hours after the fight, I was on crutches. I could not move. I was on crutches for 2 months. And he really...
Kind of like the Conor McGregor story,
yeah.
right?
Well, yeah.
5 rounds, he hurt his leg in round 1. Interesting.
So, well, yeah, I don't think I have the right to compare myself to him in any way whatsoever, but I was a personal trainer at the time and coach, so I could not afford to break my body like that. So I stopped fighting. And then I trained a little bit a year later. I trained on and off. I've been going to Thailand. I run a lot of events in Thailand. And then last year I thought, you know what? It ended prematurely. I need closure here. I'm 35 now, right? I just watched a fight back in South Africa with 2 guys with 38. Brilliant fight. And I thought, man, these guys, they look like they're at the peak of their career. I'm only 35. I've got 3 years to get to their age.
At least.
And I said, you know what? In my own mind, it was either now or never. And I thought, okay, I'm going to give myself at least until 38 because the evidence is there in front of me that people are doing this at 38. That these guys were at high level. They were fighting for a belt in South Africa. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do 1 fight. I put the feelers out, spoke to a promoter in South Africa and started to speak to some people in the UK. And I'm just going to do it and we'll see what happens. We'll do the first fight. I'm training very hard. I'm more focused than I ever was 5 years ago, ever.
I can feel it in your. I can hear it in your voice. I can feel the focus because, I mean, JP's always in shape. I mean, ever since I met him, he's always in shape. Obviously, he's always focused. But now, when we're coming up in the, he's laser focused on his fight, and we haven't even talked about it too long for me to see it, but I can sense it for some reason.
Just my certainty is through the roof.
I'm worried about your opponent right now. That's all.
You see, when I was, I'm always, like you just said, thank you very much. It's very kind of you for the kind words. I'm always working on myself. Always working on myself. So 5 years ago, I was half the man I am today. And 5 years from now, I'll be double the man I am today. So I was already a good fighter. I did 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw because I was lazy. But I didn't have even a third of the mental power I have now. So now when I'm at home, I have a home gym. When I strike the bag at home, I can feel my fist going through my opponent's ribs. It's very strange. I'm not even an aggressive guy. I'm a fluffy bunny, right? I'm all about love. But I'm just so focused. I cannot wait to fight.
I can't wait either. do you have I don't know if you mentioned it, maybe I didn't hear you, but do you have a place in mind or a venue in mind?
I might be having my first fight in March in South Africa.
South Africa,
Otherwise,
March.
Maybe in Thailand in April.
Okay, let me know.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it live. I definitely want to go.
Well, I'm super stoked. Anyway, we're not talking about that now.
Yeah. Well, the reason I wanted to talk to you...
all hyped up. I need to go to bed after this, dude.
Well, it's actually what time is it? It's 8:26 over here, and I have a feeling you're going to go for a run after we're done. Do they have a bag upstairs in the gym? Mm-mm. No? Damn it.
Treadmills.
Okay. Treadmills. There we go. Well, the beauty. I noticed it recently when I was preparing for the podcast. You were ranked top 50 most inspiring men in London.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Not men, people.
People in London.
Men
Yeah.
and women, yeah.
Why did I read men? People. This is interesting because when you're talking about individuals who inspire, Jim Rohn. Yeah. Eric today, at least, especially when you do a seminar.
Hundreds.
Yeah, when you were in Dubai, the first time I saw you in Dubai with Success Resources, it was in March
2016.
16, right?
Yeah, 10 months ago.
And you had a full house.
Yeah, 400
twice
people.
A day, 4 times within a week in Dubai and Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
And when you say Dubai and Abu Dhabi, it's a completely different ballgame than you are in the U.S. Because in the U.S. people are... the U.S. or the U.K.
Yeah.
Either way. Because over there, people are... The gate. There were a lot more people who were on the waiting list.
Yeah.
And I had to book multiple tickets cause we were supposed to be about a group of 3 or 4 people. And I'll tell you this, when we arrived... The energy in the room was interesting because they don't know you. They've never seen you before.
They were so unsure.
It was your first time in Dubai, am I right?
Yeah.
And they were unsure.
Second. First time doing the event that I was doing.
Doing the event.
Yeah,
but you've been here before.
I spoke at a business conference 2 months before that at the Maiden Hotel.
But you did speak to the Royal of Abu Dhabi, right?
Successful, then had an hour and a half off. While the team was setting up the room, I went up to my hotel room just to meditate and get myself ready for the next session. 10 minutes before the session, they called me down and said, JP, we need you here now. Now. And the promoter of the event, Najahi event, said there's 4 members of the royal family here. And she looked me in the eyes, she handed me a piece of paper, and she said, you cannot get their names wrong. 10 minutes before.
God.
My initial reaction was, you're kidding me, I can't do this, limiting beliefs. But the pressure and the motivation to get it done was enough for me to create...
Keep going.
Was enough for me to create the result that they needed. And I'm struggling to get those names out of my head. Right, I had to say His Royal Highness Sheikh Khalifa Al Nahyan, His Royal Highness Sheikh Khalid Khalifa Al Nahyan, His Royal Highness Takhnun Khalifa Al Nahyan, and I just had to go on, and I had to go on stage.
You got it very well. Especially you don't speak Arabic, by the way.
No, that's my first ever Arabic words I've ever said in my life. And I got up on stage, and they looked at me like, "How does this guy know our name?" Anyway. I was told beforehand, don't be offended. They usually go to events, the royal family, they turn up to events, they stay 10 minutes and they leave. They stayed for 3 hours till the end of my talk. Wow. And at the end of the talk, they waited at the stage to speak to me. It was such an honor. I felt truly blessed. And actually, I wish I was more ready for that moment, because actually what happened was I stood there and just went, thank you. I didn't know what to say to them. If I had it different, I would have had a conversation with them and said, look, I'm happy to come and do some work with you. But, that opportunity will come again.
It will come again. I mean, they waited. And I'll tell you, I'll agree with you, because when we were in the event with Kiyosaki in Dubai, Success Resources, the royal family, I think there were 2 members of the royal family that came in. And I've been here, I've lived in Dubai for a long time, and I'll tell you, they come in, sometimes they leave early, sometimes they stay for a while. For them to stay for 3 hours, and the names that you mentioned are not, your average middleweight, leader. We're talking about heavyweights. Sheikh Tahnoun, he purchased with Flash Entertainment, I don't know if you know this, they purchased in, I think 2010, I know guys, correct me if I'm wrong, they purchased 10% of the UFC back then. The company that sold for $4.2 billion, they bought it for 10% of that time. And they were, man, I'm telling you, look, we're very competitive, you and I specifically, but if you look at Dubai and Abu Dhabi compared to the other cities, or UAE versus other countries in the world, man, people talk about competition, and over here, the ideas they come up with. Yeah. They're building a hyperloop, going from Dubai to Abu Dhabi in 12 minutes.
Look, the meeting I had, 2 meetings before this today, the person asked me, why do you love Dubai so much? 2 days ago, someone said to me, you're going to Dubai a lot. What do you love about it so much? Here's the answer. Simple. High standards. People do not do the average or think in the average way here. And I effing love that.
That sunk in with me, high standards. When I think Al-Abbad had a meeting with Sheikh Mohammed regarding Burj Khalifa, previously known as Burj Dubai, they wanted to build the tallest tower in the world. If I'm not mistaken, their first meeting lasted for about a minute and a half. And he told them, no, we're not doing it. It's not big enough. Not height-wise, value. We're not going to do that. And then he came back and he told them, listen, we're going to build... he increased the height by God knows how much, and he said no. And then he came back and he told him the difference between what we're going to do and the number one currently in the world is 40%. And they said go.
See, and that was what I'm talking about.
And that was it. I mean, and the beautiful thing is, people talk about Dubai, and I love Dubai. I'll defend Dubai against anyone, anytime. Abu Dhabi, they're growing slowly but surely. They're growing big, and they're taking their time. And you look at the big projects that they left Abu Dhabi to the right, and in the middle you have something called Dubai World Central. It is somewhere at the end of Dubai and at the beginning of Abu Dhabi, but it's still a part of Dubai. And when these guys put their heads together, and if you look at it before the results came out, we're talking about a year, 2-3 years before the results came out. If you were to have searched for Expo 2020, they've dominated social media. Of all things, even social media, they were dominating. You can't find anything about Expo 2020 without finding Dubai on it. Nothing. Which was crazy because the mentality, and they said it, if we're going in to win. We're not going in for a participation ribbon. And that applies to many other areas apart from the Expo. Talk about how competitive these guys are. Sheikh Mohammed is a world champion. He is a world champion. Not his team. He competed. I think it was a long distance endurance race of horse riding, long distance, similar to the Ironman of the triathlon, which I want to talk to you about, by the way. And you look at a man who's 60 plus years old, who is a leader of a government, who has his hands full, and we know that. And specifically with today's world, you look at presidents in, let's say, other countries. They have to, I mean, for example, the President of the United States has to be in the gym, if I'm not mistaken, at 6 a.m. every day, an hour in the gym, in the weight room.
Oh, I didn't know
I don't know if it was an hour, but not a 5-minute workout. They have a regimen every single day. But for you to compete on the world championship level and win, that's interesting. They're very competitive. And, it just says something to be in Dubai.
Well, success leaves clues, eh? So
yeah.
If they're doing it, there's got to be a reason behind it.
And the best example, I mean, Bandler and Robbins both talked about it, modeling. That's it. You cannot cover your tracks 100%. You will leave, and nobody would, but you'll leave a bit of tracks for you to be followed to the mountain. So if you want to get there, I used to be the engineer mind of let me figure out how to do that from scratch every time, whether it was at school or with business. I want to reinvent the wheel, and I took pride with that. Not because it was hard or easier, because I get to use my brain, right? But then you look at individuals who get it's just interesting. And when you came to Dubai, that for me, I knew that was it, because when you put your foot into, and when I gave I gave a talk in Helsinki, and the moment I mentioned I'm a Dubai-based entrepreneur, you could see their eyes, their faces shift, like, oh my God, he's from Dubai? I haven't even spoken yet. I could be the worst speaker in the world. I could be somebody with no knowledge about the topic. But that would put a precedence on who you are. Yeah. It would give you what do they call it? Social proof in psychology. You walk in with 10 bodyguards, paparazzis around you.
Of course.
They'll make up a meaning. And that's what people do in a positive way.
Well, that's NLP, right?
It's all NLP. Everything is psychology.
Perception is projection.
Yeah. So tell me about the Ironman. I know that you videotaped on YouTube. It wasn't a training. You literally did the entire race on your own. You did the swimming. You did the cycling.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was, I speak a lot. I'm doing a national tour of South Africa in February. I was meant to do my first Ironman. I'd done distances, and I was meant to do the first official Ironman it was June 2 years ago or something, and I had to go to France to do it, but I got a speaking opportunity, and I could not turn this opportunity down. So what I did was I called up Ironman France or Ironman, and I said to them, look, I need a refund. No, not a refund. I need you to take my entry, 550 euros. So we're talking about 2,500 dirham, or what's it, $1,000 or something like that. And I said, can you transfer me to any country? What does that mean? I just lose my 550 euros. Yes, sorry. And the next day, I thought, you know what? Bugger you. Who do you think you are that you can tell me like, oh no, you just can't do it now? I don't need you. I don't need a brand. I don't need a race, a marshal, a certain location to be able to, or for me to be able to do an Ironman, quote unquote. So I just got up the next day, or actually that night, I said to Jules, my wife, I said, would you do me a favor? Would you drive me to the local 50-meter Olympic swimming pool at 4:30 in the morning? Because I worked out, did the maths, and it was getting dark at about 9 o'clock. I could get it done, the whole thing. So she drove me there at 5 a.m. I was in the pool. My bike was in the car. I was meant to do 3.8 kilometers. I swam 4 kilometers because that felt so good. 4 kilometers. Got out. That was a big mistake, actually.
It says to be
too confident. So I did 4K, got to the car, got on my bike. I did 185 kilometers cycle, so the Ironman distance, and then went home. I timed it so that my cycle would finish.
Over-delivering, huh? In every area.
Yeah, too much actually. There's
the official race. By the way, guys, the official race is 3.8 kilometers swim. He went 4. The biking is 180 kilometers. He did 5 kilometers extra, and it's a full marathon, so it's 42.125 kilometers.
So I finished the bike at home, and then I went out on the road and I did a marathon, 4 laps of my town, and it was tough, but I did it. And my motivation for doing it was to be able to say, screw you, and it's a bit it's my ego, and I've said to this day that I'll never do an Ironman, and I'll do beyond. I'll do double the distance, all that stuff, and I've done 275-kilometer cycling races twice, called the Double Century in South Africa. But I just felt very disappointed with the brand that. There was no individuality. There was no, let me take care of our customer. Always, that saying, your customer comes first. They just didn't give a shit. They have so many people wanting to do it. And based on that, they just thought, no, the answers I got back from the head office were so short. And there wasn't like, let me see what I can do for you. They were not interested in helping me. So what I'm doing. This shit I'm creating in the world. So I'm going to go out there and do crazy things. And, I've said I'm going to fight again. I've just turned 100% vegan. I'm speaking all around the world.
You're 100% vegan now?
Yeah. National, international speaking tours. And I'll continue to share the story. And I'll continue to do crazy things. But I will not give Ironman the satisfaction of having me as one of their customers.
Let me ask you a question. What would you tell your CEO client right now if they're asking you for advice about such difficult situations, which is what you did, what happened with you in the Ironman in France? What would you advise them when they have let me rephrase the question. What do you have to say about leaving a customer unsatisfied to a CEO? We're not talking about the mid-level employee. What would you tell them?
Can you rephrase that question?
Because
the CEO
to the CEO
being unsatisfied
to the customers of an organization like the Ironman, like Apple or Dell or whatever. Because here's the thing: a lot of people, a lot of CEO, a lot of entrepreneurs do not pay much attention to the customer feedback in a way that, they look at the margins, they look at the numbers at the end of the day, but word of mouth can create a big buzz. Who was it? What company was it? Somebody tweeted, I think it was an airline. Somebody tweeted something about an airline not being very ethical or whatnot.
I'm totally where you are.
It went viral.
There's it's funny because it's not funny, but it's strange because a lot of companies thrive just on new business. So there's either you're focusing on new business, or you're focusing on your current clients, or you're focusing on both. Now, obviously, the greatest strategy in the world would be focus on your new customers and your current customers. But I believe that your current customers is the most important person to focus on, people to focus on. And I only know this, I partly know this out of personal experience. I've been through a stage in my career where I became so focused on doing more that I kind of let my customers slip a little bit, and I took my focus off them 10, 20, maybe even 30% of what it could be. So if you take care of your current clients, they're already pre-sold. You don't need to try and sell the concept of working with you. They're already sold. All you need to do is keep them happy. And if your customers are happy and they truly believe that they can get more value from you than anyone else in the world, they will never, ever, ever leave you. Why would they? They'd be stupid. Why would they leave you if they know that they can't get that same kind of value from by someone? They can't get the same kind of value from someone else as they can from you. They'll latch onto you for life. Whereas with new customers, you're always trying to build trust, build trust, build trust, build trust, build trust. Whereas if you just take care of the clients that you already have, you'll never have to have a new client in your life. So for example, I do B2B, B2C coach events, So I do customer events where we get people to come, and I've done talks at banks, because I take care of my clients. I don't have to sign up new people. It's just the same. Another year comes around, my clients renew. Another year comes around, my clients renew. I probably lose a client a year. Maybe,
you have 20
2
clients,
10.
10 clients.
10. Sometimes I have 7, sometimes I have 12. Depends on the
So
time
on
of
average,
year,
you have 10 clients
but
a
my
year.
goal is 2 handfuls of clients. I want to be able to give the very best of myself to them, and therefore I can't overpopulate my client base.
What you're saying is amazing, specifically with customer retention, because a lot of businessmen, entrepreneurs, try to focus their energy on bringing in more customers, bringing in that 20%, not knowing the 80-20 rule. They know it, but they don't know it. Because what we mean by the 80-20 rule is 80% of your money is coming from 20% of your clients, or 20% of your efforts, or both, depending on what game you're in. But if you remember that, you only need to work on in your case, the 7 to 12 clients that you have, make them happy, give them what they're paying for, over delivering like the 4 kilometers instead of the 3.8 in every area. For you, I'm sure it's a habit. So you go to the gym, you put the timer, you're not going to stop punching the bag, and I've seen you punching it, and when the timer goes off, you're probably going to go some more. You're going to run, time's up, you're going to keep going some more. How many times were you pulled off stage for exceeding the time limit?
Every time.
Right? You know, Tony has this problem. He can never do a 1 hour talk.
Yeah.
No way. And people who over deliver as well, they have that ability to tune in, to get into that zone, the vortex or what they call it.
Yeah.
And
I'm all about the vortex.
yeah, and that it takes over.
Yeah.
That's it.
When you're living your passion, that's the vortex. Because it never feels like work ever. And when it never feels like work, you never want to stop doing it. So if you can find what it is that makes you feel like that, and find people that want to buy that, you got the greatest business in the world.
Wow. You know what? I'm gonna do this right here. I'm not gonna delay. I called you in a couple months ago. I was on my sabbatical.
Yeah.
I'll mention it right now. I took literally.
We haven't even spoken about that yet.
1 month.
Man, I spoke to you in September.
You're the only person. I was talking to.
Right.
But I want to ask you right now, because let me ask you a question.
I don't know if I'm ready for this, man.
Yeah. What is a mathematical combination to the unit? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Now go. He's gonna run out of his own. No. What advice would you have to an individual who does not know what their passion is? So somebody comes to you right now. Let's say George or let's say Bob comes to you right now and says, "Coach, I have everything I want in life except, I food, I have money, I have."
Brilliant question.
I knew you're gonna love it.
So there's a few different ways in which I can answer this question. A lot of people have asked me this over the years. I'm going to use one specific example with you. So we're going to do a live example of how to extract that, okay? Now you obviously know what it is, or probably know what it is. So I want you to imagine very quickly that you are, let's say 90, 100 years old. When do you expect to live until?
Let's say 80. I don't know. I was born on 88. Let's say 88.
Okay, so you're 88 years old. You're on your deathbed. Sorry, it sounds a bit.
Go. It's all right.
You're on your deathbed, and you all of a sudden realize the doctor's all around you, and you realize you've got about 1 minute left. Okay, you've got 1 minute left to live, and now your loved ones are around you, and you've got your daughter or your son or even your grandchild right there. Who's it going to be? Someone that you really, really love, and that's really young. Okay, so you're 88 years old, your daughter and your son, hopefully they're adults by now, and they're standing at your bed, and you've got 1 minute left to live. 1 minute, I'm timing you. I want you to tell...
Fair enough. Take all the bullshit out, pardon my language, take all the bullshit out, forget about everything that is background noise, and focus on the only thing that you would want to spend your whole life doing. If you could break down your life to 80-20, 20 handling the BS, handling the background, handling to how to survive, how to have my computer work, and the 80% of what to do with your computer, focus on that. Focus on that one thing that you find value in. The one thing that would wake you up in the morning and get you to, exactly what you just said, to do it without putting any effort into it. That's what I would tell them.
So that's what you should go do. It's that simple. The thing is, right, we don't know. We say we don't know what we want to do because we are always coming from a place of fear, sometimes from a place of lack, sometimes from a place of I'll be judged, I won't be loved, etc., etc. That's all under the label of fear. But when you're talking to someone that you love, that's outside of yourself, that you have unconditional love for, that you would never judge, like your little girl or a little boy, like your children, right? Which is actually the way we should be thinking about ourselves. But if we focus on them, where there's none of those limiting beliefs, you'll tell them the truth. And the truth is what you just said. Which is go whatever the version that you just said. It was a very long-winded version of just...
So to summarize it in 7 seconds or less, I would tell them live your life the way you want. If you want to do charities, get into that. Find out what you
talk, guys, as you probably noticed.
Yeah, I'm an introvert.
I would sum it up like this, right? Based on what you just said, and obviously the fact that I've known you a long time. It's find what you love and go do that. And do that with your full force. Do that with everything that you've got. I really believe that that's your mission. And you are already doing that through the podcast, through your events, through helping me with my events. You're helping people to find what they love so they can go do that. Now, this might be different from the person you can be. Okay, go do that. It might be the one message that they leave their grandkids might be make sure you take care of your family. Go do that. But whatever we say or whatever we tell our loved ones to do is how we should live our life.
Would it be fair to, I love the way you put it, but let me ask you a question, a follow-up question. Would it be fair to go ahead with the concept of, fair enough, were there 100 billion people that ever lived the planet? I think that was a statistic recently, 7.56 billion alive right now. Would it be fair to assume everybody has a message? Everybody has, sorry?
No. Yeah, everyone has a message.
Yeah, no. We are on. How much time?
No, I was just saying making sure it was on.
Yeah, no, it's on. It's right here. If
everyone has a message.
Yeah, everyone has a message. Everyone's carrying a banner or a flyer, such as, I think yours was, live extraordinarily.
Be extraordinary.
Be extraordinary. Do whatever you want to do and be great at it. Yeah. Somebody else would
be average.
Share love. Somebody else would be don't be average. So would it be fair to assume that every human being has a message and their entire life is an expanded version of that message? That message is the title of the book.
If you're living it.
If you're living it.
Some people are so lost because they don't even know what that message is.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a great exercise. Can I give it quickly?
Yeah, go.
To the listeners. If you had,
this is all you.
I use this with my clients all the time. If I gave you a magic mobile phone, I've done this with you, right?
I love that. That untangled a big gap. If you hear this is the gold, the other one was a diamond. Listen to what he's saying right here.
Okay, this is so powerful, and I remind myself of this all the time, because if I feel like I'm going off track, off kilter, or I'm straying off my path, I remind myself.
This is extremely powerful. That really helps.
So, to everyone listening, imagine that I gave you a magic mobile phone, a magic cell phone. Imagine me a genie, whatever, God, whatever you want to imagine me as. And I gave you this phone and I said, look, you've been very fortunate, you've been chosen to have this opportunity to share one single message with the world. I can promise you and guarantee you right now that you're never going to get this opportunity again. But 7.2 or 7.5 billion people in the world, I can guarantee you that everyone on this planet is going to get this message. And you're not going to get this opportunity again. What would you say? What would you say?
Answer?
One message and a text. What would you say?
You are a miracle. You're here alive on this planet. Do great things that you value the most.
Mine would be, don't listen to the bullshit stories from other people. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter what it is. You are extraordinary. Now, I have variations of that.
Sure.
But every time I feel lost or unfocused, all I have to do is check in with that. What is the one message I want to share? Because, look, like I said to you, I arrived in Dubai at 3 a.m. I had 3 hours or something sleep. I've had back-to-back meetings all day, not even in my suite at my hotel, all over Dubai. I've been to Business Bay, whatever, DIFC. I've been near the Palm. I've been all over the place. So at the end of my day, meeting you and then running late, right? If I wasn't focused on that one message, I would be thinking, man, I'm tired.
You would compromise for what you're feeling then.
I need to go to sleep. Yeah, I would be focused on what's temporary, but what's permanent is my mission. So for me to check in, why am I doing this? Because I want to share my message. So that made me think, Hassan, get your ass here, man. Let's do this, baby.
By the way, I called them. So you guys know what happened. About 20 minutes in, I drove like a lunatic. I probably broke every traffic fine between the two hotels. And I called him, listen, I know you're busy. I know that we said we're going to do it from 7 to 8. If you want, we can cancel or postpone it. And he said, no, we're still doing it. Get your ass over here. We're going to do it no matter what. And this is, it's a testament for the fact that you keep your eye on the goal. You keep your eye on the target, which is the message you want to share with the world.
Yeah, baby.
And the way you put it, the way you put it right now, hopefully people take it to heart, because I'm sure they will, but hopefully people remember this, because if you remember your message when you are angry, when you are fearful, that changes everything, baby, because now you have an option. Okay, is my outcome to be angry, or is my outcome to deliver the message in the midst of the anger? And that will change everything.
And our decisions that we make are based on our focus, where our focus is in that moment. So my decision to see you or not see you, or continue the meeting, or still keep the meeting, would have been based on what I was focusing on. And if I was focusing on, I'm tired, that's not going to get me to go out there and deliver an energetic podcast. But instead I was focused on why. Why am I doing this? It's another opportunity to inspire, to share my story, and to spread my message. And that fills me with so much energy. And actually, I'm going to start winding myself down now, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep, because I don't usually work this late.
Listen, let's head to the gym. Let's go put some back. You know, I'm sure we can actually. Look, I'm sure we can pull this off. If you wanted to, I guarantee you probably end up with it. If they had it back right now and I keep pushing it, you probably end up at the gym after I leave.
Yeah, the gym's right next door, actually. It's on my floor.
You're kidding?
No, it's like 2 doors down.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No.
Quick question: What is your ritual in the morning? I always wanted to ask you that. Do you have a ritual? I'm sure you do. But
pretty much, I do my very best to wake up at 5 a.m. I do that because I do that to instill discipline and consistency in my life. When I wake up, I have my lemon water. I used to say what I'm grateful for. Now I write down my gratitudes. I write down 1 page in my journal of things that I'm grateful for. And actually, through help of one of my coaches, I made that even more powerful. I get to, rather than writing down what I'm grateful for, I write down what I'm grateful for based on the last 24 hours of my life. So I'll wake up tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning I have to wake up at 5. I'll have some water because I'm traveling. I don't have lemons here, and I'll have a small bottle of water, and then I'll sit and I'll open my journal and I'll write 1 page of things that I was grateful for from today. I'll be grateful for the opportunity of this podcast. I'll be grateful for the meetings that I have. I'll be grateful for the fact that I'm in Dubai. I'll be grateful for the fact that I flew here safely at 3 o'clock this morning or 2 o'clock this morning, whatever. So that's been really powerful for me. And then I'll do some kind of movement. Now, I travel a lot. I had 51 flights in 2016. So I don't have a ritual in terms of going to the gym. This is my ritual. Move every day. Move every day. This morning I did 30 burpees. The day before I did 20 push-ups. The day before I did an hour workout. Every day is different. But my ritual is this. Connect my body and my mind through movement every single day. And start my day as I intend to live my life. Empowered.
By the way, JP, because we don't have this is not a video right now. It's an audio podcast. JP is as fit as Usain Bolt or Conor McGregor. Keep in mind he's a lot taller. By the way, how tall are you?
6'3".
6'3". Yeah. So when you stand next to Tony Robbins, you pretty much feel.
Put it this way. I'm 6'3", and if I had to get back into fighting, if I lost a little bit of weight. Mm-hmm. I'm so lean, I could probably get down to lightweight.
What?
Yeah. Now, an average lightweight fighter in MMA is probably 5'8", 5'9". I'm 6'3".
Kidding.
Yeah. So.
Goodness.
So that's how lean I am. I have no.
You're gonna cause a lot of trouble for the lightweight guys if you get.
If I can get down, yeah. I have to. I mean, obviously, it's not based on.
What do you walk around?
It's not. I'm now at 81, and lightweight is 70. So
70 MMA.
But it's not.
77.
No,
wait, that's welterweight. No, you're right.
Welter is 77.
Yeah. I was wondering. I'm like, there's no way I can make lightweight.
Yeah. So lightweight is 70, and that's not real weight. It's obviously if you're getting weighed in the day before.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can get down to 75, walk around.
Yeah, you can get.
I can do 70, and then I'd be a fuck. To reckon with.
You're gonna. I was telling people about. What was I saying? I was saying something important about the you being fit. Regarding the workout, movement. You said movement.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and this will be the last message for the day. A lot of people think that to be fit, to lose weight, not only to be fit, because in my opinion, you're ripped. Yeah. Now, a lot of people want to just get into shape or you lose the weight, and they have that belief. People. Sorry? Most people. Yeah, most people. Yeah. They have the belief that I have to go to the gym every day and spend 2-3 hours a day and have to eat all that stuff. And you mentioned, we talked about it, but you mentioned it on one of your videos, the one when you wanted to do the 100 videos, a video every day. Yeah. Remember that? You mentioned that you trained 15 minutes that day.
Yeah.
And people were, wait a minute, you could train for 10 or 15 minutes.
This morning I did 7 minutes.
7 minutes in the morning.
Yeah.
What would you say to people that think you have to work hard instead of just move? Because they think that the body is built in the gym. What do you think about that?
This is where it comes from. I'll start here. What you do consistently, what you do every day is what you become.
Yeah.
So if you do something to get fit every day, you'll get fit. It's that simple. Just do something. The rule of thumb in my life is do something. Something is 1,000 times better than nothing. But here's the issue that most people face. right? Just by default, not their fault. It's just this is what people do by nature. Is they say I need to schedule out an hour to go work out. That's an epic fail because we all live busy lives. Most of us live busy lives. So if you are thinking in your head, I need an hour to keep fit, wrong. Because as soon as you feel pressured, what's the first thing that you're going to remove from your day? Guess how many days you miss?
Domino effect.
7, 20, 21, and then you go
21 years, you miss 21 years
I
of
must
work.
get back into fitness. But if you just do 10 minutes every day, what kind of discipline and consistency would anyone build if for 365 days, it won't be an issue. It'll be a part of them. It's emotional muscle. And when you build that muscle and just that's a part of you and you go work out every day, at the end of the 3 minutes, how are you going to feel?
Great, I've done it.
And are you really going to stop at 3 minutes when you feel great? No, unless you don't.
It becomes a...
do something.
It's very hard to break a habit, and once you build it, that's it.
I can tell you now, though, that even I know I've studied athletes for a long time. I've been an athlete for a long time. Athletes don't take days off. Extraordinary athletes, even on days off, they're doing foam rolling, stretching, yoga. They don't take days off.
There's a myth.
Go for a walk or something. If you're not moving, you're dying.
Yeah. Amen to that.
Yeah, that's my philosophy anyway.
JP, it's been real.
It's been awesome, dude.
Love it. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Okay,
thanks,
so
guys.
thank you very much for doing this. I really appreciate it. And
no, for you, anytime.
I'll have you back literally anytime. Let me know whenever you're in Dubai.
I'll have you on my podcast. I'm back. Actually, you know what? I'm back first week of February.
In Dubai?
Maybe we could meet then. Yeah, I'm actually speaking at a business conference at the Maiden Hotel.
Okay.
But if you were the Maiden Conference Center,
I'm probably going to be in Saudi in the end of Jan, but I should definitely be back by the beginning of
4th.
Feb. Yeah, no, I'll be here.
5th and 6th even.
Okay.
Of February.
Okay, yeah,
And
great.
We'll chat
Hit me
again.
up.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to go to bed.
All right. Thanks, guys. We will be seeing you soon, and thank you, JP, for coming on.
Cool.
Appreciate
Take care.
it.
Be awesome.
Good night, guys. See ya.